Hello everyone, welcome back. So we have seen after the failure of Rutherford's Goldfield experiment and not being able to explain the stability of an atom because it was not in line with the Maxwell's theory. So there was a need of another theory which could explain various experimental observations which were made regarding an atom, and some of the experiments that include our photoelectric effect and the atomic spectra of absorption as well as emission. So for that, another theory or concept of quantization came, and that concept was given by Max Planck. So concept says that energy of light or radiation is quantized. So let us see what does it mean in more detail. So Max Planck considered that light has a wave-like character. So let us see what are the characteristics of light and then go into the detail of this theory. So wave in general can be represented like this. So this is called a sinusoidal wave. This is because it resembles the sine function that you study in your trigonometry. So here the y-axis is called the amplitude and x-axis is time. And since if we are starting from position A going up to B, then C in the reverse direction, minima, and then E. Here one wave is also called one cycle. So various characteristics of a wave or light are first the amplitude. So amplitude is the maximum displacement or maxima in creased and trough. So it is either creased or trough. So B we are consider the maxima in the y-axis and D the minima. So what that amplitude, that magnitude is called as the amplitude of a wave. Then comes another point which is wavelength. Wavelength, as the name suggests, length is replaced by distance. So this is distance travelled by a wave in time t. Okay, so if distance travelled is always equals to speed into time, and in case of light the speed is represented as c, which has a constant value of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in vacuum. So here the wavelength represented as lambda is basically c into t, the speed of light into time. So wavelength is basically this distance, the distance in which one wave covers the distance, or distance covered by one wave. Another is frequency. It is represented as nu. This represents number of waves in 1 second. So this is basically 1 by t. So 1 by t from this equation comes out to be c by lambda, as this is represented by nu. So nu is c by lambda. The third factor or the characteristic is wave number. So wave number represents the number of cycles or number of waves per unit length. So this is 1 by lambda and it is nu bar. So from these equations we know that C upon lambda is nu and also C into nu bar. So this is what we know about a wave. And we have used C because we are talking for light as a wave nature. Now coming back to the theory of quantization. So according to Max Planck, he said that energy is gives energy or that light gives energy in the form of quanta. The quantized energy is obtained whenever light radiations or radiations are there emitted through a source. So it means that one wave, this one single wave is represented as a quanta of light, and this wave will have energy is equals to h nu. This equation was given by Max Planck. So when we have a light source, suppose I have a bulb. So bulb is giving away radiations, and with radiations we mean waves. So one source of light is basically emitting multiple waves, and each of these waves has energy of h nu, and each of this single wavelength, single wave structure is called a photon. So photon is associated with single wave pattern, and every wave pattern has a fixed energy or a quantized energy. Okay, and that quantized energy is given by the frequency of the wave, or you can also relate this with the wavelength and wave number using these relations which hold for any wave. So in case of light, you can say E is equals to hc by lambda as well as h nu. And also if I replace 1 by lambda with nu bar, it is hc nu bar. So this is how for light we can say it has a quantized energy. It has a one single wavelength has a fixed energy called photon, and single wavelength or single photon is called quanta. When a light source emits many such quantas of energy or many such quantas of wave, it is called quantum. So this concept, so here h is a constant which has a value of 6.626 10 to power minus 34 joule second. So second and joules. Now here I forgot to mention that wavelength has a unit of, if you will see, it will some distance. So it has to be meter if we are talking in terms of SI units. And the frequency, since it is inverse of time, will have a unit of second inverse. This is also called hertz, represented as Hz. And wave numbers is, it is inverse of a length. It is going to be meter inverse. Alright. So energy SI units we are considering joules. So this is how all these things are related to each other mathematically and conceptually. Now the concept of quantization was used, as I said, to explain different experimental observations. Let us see what those experiments were and how this quantum model explained those observations. So very first thing that was explained was photoelectric effect. Photo is related to light, since we are talking in terms of photons now. So now onwards light is a collection of photons. It's a collection of waves. Each wave is a photon. So we are basically talking about light or photon or a wave and electron. How light causes an electron ejection from a metal surface. So this effect was observed for metals. Since we know metals have free electrons, so metals and electrons are basically held by Coulombic interactions or Coulombic forces. Okay, so if this is a metal plate, it has some electrons embedded on it. So whenever one wave, so now we are using wave and photon together. So this wave is associated with energy, and so energy, let it be h nu. So I am providing h nu energy. This is my input energy. This energy has to overcome this Coulombic force. So this h nu should be more than the Coulomb force between metal and electron. For knocking this electron so that the electron can come out. It can be ejected out from surface of metal. So this Coulombic force is a measure of the binding force between metal and electron. So this is called as the work function, or also the energy the minimum energy that is required to knock this electron out is called threshold energy, and in terms of frequency it is represented as h nu naught. So whenever h nu is bigger than h nu naught, so this is minimum energy required to remove an electron, and this is what we are giving, the input energy. And if we are providing higher energy, then there is an excess of energy, yani h nu, the energy we are providing is more than required. Then the difference of energy, whatever energy is left, is converted into kinetic energy of the electron, because electron is moving out, it is moving, so it has a velocity. So since we know the mass of electron, depending on how much excess of energy is there, we can calculate the velocity of electron with which it is moving out of the metal plate. So this is what was given. This was an observation that whenever a light is irradiated on metal, some current was observed. So that current was related as or called as photoelectric effect. So why a light is causing a current? That experimental observation was explained by the quantization of Max Planck's theory. So this is explaining the current observed when light is irradiated on a metal plate. Now this threshold energy has to be overcome. So minimum energy is required. So you have to always take care of this. Whatever excess energy is there, that is the kinetic energy of electron that is coming out of it. The second observation that was explained by this theory was atomic spectrum. So let us see what is it. And one more thing, since we are talking in terms of photons, so like in the photoelectric effect we had seen, one photon is causing ejection of one electron. So if I have 10 photons, it will cause ejection of 10 electrons. So photons are not related with the intensity as such. Like energy of a photon is fixed. Suppose I have a red color light. since the wavelength of light is fixed, since we are fixing the red color, suppose it is 700 nanometer or 750 nanometer, I would say. So in that case, the energy of a wave is fixed. But if I increase the number of photons, then it means the total energy which is coming out of 10 photons will be 10 times that of a 1 photon. So it will look like as an intense red color. For example, I will show you two solutions where the concentration of a dye is different. So let us see. So these are two solutions. As you can see clearly, one of the solution is light in color, this one, and the second solution is little deeper in color. So let us see what is the difference. Here both the colors are red. So it means their wavelength is fixed. Means energy of photon is fixed as hc by lambda. Okay. So if photon is fixed, why the color intensity is different? Because intensity depends on number of photons. It is proportional to number of photons. So more color means more photons are there which are absorbing the light and showing me the dark color, and less intensity means less number of photons are being absorbed. Those are showing me a low intensity color of the solution. Okay. So one photon is causing one electron ejection. Now the second experiment that was explained was atomic spectrum. Of hydrogen atom. So in this case, the experimental observations was whenever light is irradiated on a sample of hydrogen atoms, it shows a spectra, and spectra is basically intensity versus energy graph. So spectra is intensity versus energy. Energy is termed, it is measured in terms of wavelength. So this kind of spectra was observed. Some lines were there. That is why it is called line spectrum of hydrogen atom. So this line spectrum is signifying what? That a fixed amount of energy is emitted. The spectra doesn't look like a continuous spectra like this. Oh, not zero, of course. So this is a continuous spectra and this is called a discrete. Discrete means which is not continuous, which is discontinuous, or definite you can say. So definite energies are coming out of it. So there is a continuous flow of energy and there is a discrete flow of energy. So continuous flow of energy, it means it can have all the values which fall within that range. But discrete values, it means it can have only very specific values. It is just like a ladder. Like if you are climbing a ladder, you can either be on step 1 or step 2. There is nothing in between step 1 and step 2. So you cannot hang in between the steps. So while climbing a ladder, either you will be here or here. So exactly same concept was applied. So electron can be in one energy state or in the other energy state. It cannot be in between. So that's why this breaks the continuity of the energy states and gives it a very definite discrete values or definite values. Okay. So suppose if this is energy state 1 and 2, they have a very discrete values. So you cannot have energy in between of it. This is what quantization means. And this observation was explained by using this quantization theory. So when a light was irradiated on hydrogen atoms, some of the lights were missing. It means those lights were absorbed by hydrogen atom. And that gave rise to absorption spectra. Similarly, when light was irradiated on a sample of hydrogen atom and measured at a 90-degree angle, there were lights which were emitted from it. So means whatever light has been absorbed, it is giving it away. Why it would do that? Because hydrogen, when present as such in its most stable state, it will have one electron in it, and that is present in the lowest energy state, which is also called ground state. So ground state is the lowest and most stable energy state of an electron. So whenever one wavelength or one photon is coming to it, it is going to absorb the energy, and it will absorb only if this h nu is matching this value, this difference. This difference is delta E, which is difference between E2 and E1. So this delta E has to be h nu, or h nu has to be at least this. So this is kind of a threshold energy which is required for any kind of electronic transition, and once the electron moves from 1 to 2, it is present over here in a less stable. This is a less stable state, and this is called excited state. And any system would tend to go back to the most stable state. So this electron over here will tend to come down and take back the ground state. While coming down, it is going to give away energy. Whatever excess energy it has, it is going to give away. So the difference between the two, again, delta E, which is E2 minus E1, this is going to emitted out, right? So this one I was talking about while transition from 1 to 2 state, and this is when it is coming back from 2 to 1. So when I am looking at the light while absorption, it gives me an absorption spectra, and when I am looking at light which is coming after excitation, this is called my emission spectra, right? So if I am getting emission spectra like lines, it means there are definite energy states. So when it is coming from 1 to 2, it will give me one energy, and when it is coming from 2 to 1, it will give me similar energy, same energy, if there is no energy dissipation in it. Similar experimental observations that were made, and they were classified in a mathematical form initially by Balmer, but Balmer gave the formula only for the lights which were observed in the visible range of the spectrum. And visible range of the spectrum is around 400 to 800 nanometers. So those series were named as Balmer. This was done again for hydrogen atom. Then a general formula was given by Rydberg. And the formula is like 1 by lambda is equals to RH 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square, when the transition considered is from N1 to N2. So whenever state is N1 is transiting an electron to N2 state of the atom, then the wave number is associated with this kind of energy difference. So this is basically delta E, which is expressed in terms of a wave number, where Rydberg's constant value was given to be 109,677 centimeter inverse. So this was the first time when any mathematical equation was given for hydrogen atom spectra, and various spectral lines could be explained through this. Let us see a very small example. So suppose this is one hydrogen atom, with different energy states. So this is my ground state with n is equals to 1, and all of these other states are the excited states. So the most stable state electron is here, light is hitting it, one photon came, excited this electron to this state, which is 2, 3, 4th state. Now this electron can come down in different ways. It can come from 4 to 3, 3 to 2 and 2 to 1. So this is case 1, say. In first case, I will get emission spectra of like 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines. Right? So this is intensity versus say lambda, or energy I can write. So 3 different energies will be there. 3 different energy means the energy spacing between these levels is not same. It is different. So as we are moving up, the difference is decreasing. The other case could be, it can jump from 4 to 2, then it will come 2 to 1. So in this case, I will get 2 lines. The third case could be, it can come directly from 4 to 1. In that case, I will get a single line. So either of the case will get only line, a single energy each time, or a quantized energy. So there can be, so with the same atom, there are different possibilities. So suppose I am irradiating a group of atoms. Each atom is going to absorb one photon, and that will cause transition of one electron to nth state, say 4th state. And from 4th state, each electron can come in either of the 3 ways. So I'll get, in any case, I'll get a line spectra of hydrogen atom. You have to remember one thing, that one photon will cause ejection or absorption by one electron only. It is 1:1 always. So a light is basically composed of n number of photons, because one light is basically many waves are there. It is not a single wave that is coming out of a, say, a bulb source. So bulb is emitting some radiation. That radiation has many waves in it collectively, and each wave is one photon, and each photon is being absorbed by a species that gets excited. And after de-excitation, during the de-excitation, one electron is ejecting one photon at a time. So with this, I will stop. The important part is the expression that was given by Max Planck theory and the Rydberg's constant. Next, we are going to do the particle nature of light and how it came, and the next model for an atom. Thank you very much. Do subscribe, then keep yourself updated.